Welcome back to
Suenos a Duenos.
episode
Number 5. So today,
wow.
guys, we have a very special guest. He's an icon here from Salem. But Diana's going to give you guys a little bit more information about our guest, and then we're just going to dive into it and just talk. It's a very casual conversation.
Okay. Let me get my reading voice on. All right. So today we have a special guest who has really made a long-standing career within real estate here in the Willamette Valley, and I'm just going to read a little bio about him. All right. So Chun started his real estate career at age 20 and has hit the ground running ever since. Full-time real estate professional since 2000 with 23 plus years of real estate experience in the Willamette Valley and recognized as one of the top agents at Coldwell Banker Mountain West Real Estate. Chun's goal is to make the process of buying or selling real estate efficient, enjoyable, and rewarding for you. His negotiating and communication skills set him apart from other agents. You won't be disappointed. And here are just some of the achievements. It's consistently in the top 5 at Coldwell Banker Mountain West, ranked number 2 agent at Coldwell Banker for 2017, 2018, and 2019. And there are just so many others, but I won't touch them because the list is pretty long. Yeah, welcome, Chun.
Welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here with you, especially, just people probably in the community already know you, but there's a lot of other agents, new people that they probably, they don't know that you're a big icon here in
I'm
Salem.
not really big.
Yeah,
You are. He's been
you're
humble.
everywhere. I
He's
mean,
been humble.
if you've ever driven past, I'm sure they've seen your for sale signs at one of the houses. I mean, I've seen them everywhere. Before I got into real estate, I would see your name out there. So,
Thanks.
so that's how I also knew about you and stuff like
Thanks.
Okay. So, can we start off with, you started off at age 20. You legally couldn't even have a drink. Like, what got you into real estate? Why?
That's really hard in real estate.
Why?
Well, I had a buddy in high school that, we always rode on the back of the school bus, and he always came to school with all this fancy stuff, And so I was kind of fascinated. It's like, what did your parents do, And my mom sells real estate. My dad's a builder. So I kind of got into my mind back then in like probably freshman or sophomore year in high school. And so it just stuck with me, and I just wanted to do it. And so right after high school, I told my dad, I go, hey, I'm going to get into real estate. And he's like, oh, no, you go to college and get a degree and, get a job. And so, so I went that route for a little bit, and then didn't work out. And then I knew one of my friends back then, I met him through mutual other friends. And so anyways, he's a little bit older than me, but Jose Gonzalez. He was, I think he was maybe the owner of Tu Casa back then. But anyways, I was driving down Mission Street one day, and I look over, and I haven't seen Jose for maybe like 2-3 years. I look over, and I see a black BMW, and I like, man, that's a nice car, And I look at the driver, and it's Jose. And I look at him, and he looks at me, and it's like, hey, Chun, how's it going? It's been a long time. I'm like, yes, it has been. I was like, looks like you're doing good. I go, what are you doing? And he's like, I sell real estate. And so it just kind of, again, it's like, dang, maybe it's meant to be, And so I was like, hey, how hard is it to get into real estate? And so Jose's like, pointed over, Chun, pull over. So here I am on Mission Street, and he had me pull over at like where the old, where Kmart used to be at, pull in there. And he got out of his car, and we started talking, and he's like, hey, Chun, if you want to get into real estate, come talk to me at Tu Casa. And so he's like, come see me tomorrow. And so what I did was I just went to his office the next day, and we started talking about what to do and where to go. And that's how I got into real estate.
And where were you then? Because you said you did go the traditional route, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, what were you going to school for?
Oh, I was going to school for business management.
And where were you at?
Oh, I went to Chemeketa.
Okay.
I didn't want to go to, like a big major college.
You knew like
I
that
knew
wasn't your route.
that wasn't the way I wanted to go.
You're just kind of like doing what you had to do, or you were
Yeah.
supposed to do.
What your parents tell you to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
You know.
I think we've all been to UCLA.
Yeah. So, but
do you feel like that has helped you throughout your real estate career, even just a little bit of courses that you took or the years that you went to Chemeketa?
no, I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so.
So you're like, don't even waste your time?
No, I mean, college isn't for everybody,
Yeah.
you know, and to
Yeah.
be successful, I hate saying this, but you know, you don't really need it, you know.
Mhm.
But I mean, of course, you know, being parent, you know, you want your kids to go to college and get a good career and, you know, and make lots of money, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, it's just not for everybody.
Yeah. Wait, and were you born and raised in Salem?
No, I was raised in Salem, but I was born in Malaysia.
Okay.
So my parents came over here when I was 6 months old, and then but I grew up in Salem.
So you're from
Mm.
Salem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much from Salem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
wow,
so
that's
I
cool.
know a lot of people around the community. So just from growing up, so I think that's a lot of what has to do with my business as well.
So growing up, like, what do you think built your work ethic? Because I see you and you're a hard worker. You're
My
always-
parents.
Yeah.
My parents came over in '79, and so they didn't speak much English, and so of course, you know, working 2 jobs each of them, you know, just growing up and leaving me and my older brother by ourselves at home, and well, not by ourselves, but my aunt lived with us, and so
Yeah.
anyways, just growing up, my parents always owned businesses or, you know, improve their lives, you know,
Yeah.
just working 2 jobs or, you know, having a side hustle on the side.
Side
And
hustle.
so anyways, you know, they owned, you know, an Oriental food market for a while. And so, you know, we'd be stocking food, you know, on the shelves, canned foods, whatever,
Yeah.
until, you know, in elementary school, middle school, my mom owned a cafe. My dad always had a landscaping business. So after school, I'd have to go and do stuff with him, or on the weekends would be out working in the sun or in the rain.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It's like, you know, just got to struggle and work. And, you know, I didn't want to do that type of work.
Yeah.
Is it just you and you said you have a brother?
I
Do
have
you
an
guys have more
older-
siblings?
I have an older brother. He's 2 years older than me. And then I have
Okay.
a younger brother.
Okay, so there's 3 of you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice,
That's
nice.
cool. So that means you grew up working and getting that experience, because I feel like a lot of kids nowadays, sometimes they're not exposed to that. So, you know, most of them, they're on their phone and
Yeah.
you know, they don't even work. Like, at least for me growing up, I had to pick strawberries, pick berries and things like that. And I was like, I don't want to do this kind of work either.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm.
Yeah, and that's what happened was I was when I was driving on Mission Street, I was actually helping my mom close up her cafe that day.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
I was on the way home to go to sleep because I worked a graveyard job. I worked at it was Siltec, it's Mitsubishi Silicon back
Okay.
in the day. And so I worked 7 p.m. to 7 a.m., you know, graveyard shift, you know, for like a year.
12-hour
And
shifts.
so I was doing that, and then I had to help my mom close up her cafe because she had to go to her second job.
Yeah.
Well, the cafe was hers, but then she went to the cafe to their
Market.
other job for, you know, health insurance because my dad was self-employed with the
Mhm.
landscaping.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Would your brothers go with you guys and work too, or was
My
it
older
you-
brother,
Yeah.
my younger brother, he's 10 years old, younger.
Yeah.
So I mean, he
He was little at that time.
he was, yeah, and he wasn't, no, he just, you know, my parents, you know, just pushed the schooling thing on him and don't worry about anything, and, you know, didn't have to work, or,
He's a
you know,
baby,
because,
huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
because, you know, because back then, you know, when we came over, they were poor, you know, and
Yeah.
so they worked all the time, and then things got better, and so, you know, their thing is education and just, you know, go to school and get a good job.
Yeah.
That's neat. Sounds very familiar.
I think it's
A
kind of,
lot
we
of our
all have the
stories.
similar story with
Mhm.
everyone, how it get, you know, maybe the first ones, the older kids, are the ones that struggle a little bit, so that way the younger ones can take advantage, go to school, don't have to work, just focus on school. Like, I got younger brothers where they got to go to, you know, they're at OSU, U of O, and it was a little bit easier, not as easy, but still easier for them to go, and my parents were now being able to support them. Us being older, we could help them and support them as well.
Mhm.
I always wish I had older siblings like that.
I'm the oldest, so I have 2 younger siblings.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did your parents, oh, sorry,
No, go
take
ahead.
it when you were like, hey, I'm leaving school and I'm going full time into this other
Well,
Real
certain
estate.
it
career?
didn't work out that way because I ended up working that job, and then I didn't like it, you know, of course, and then I, you know, it was a dead end job, so it wasn't anything I was gonna stay at. So I knew I had to do something, and so when I told my parents I wanted to get into real estate, they're like, okay, yeah, do it, you know? And so I did that. And I did, at the same time, I went through the Shemeketa course for, was it home building? And so I did a course, it's a 9-month course on helping to build a house. And we built a house for Habitat for Humanity. So during the day, morning time, I'd go to Chemeketa, the job site where we'd actually be out there swinging hammers, digging out for the foundation and doing all that stuff. And then in the afternoon, I'd go to the real estate school. And then, I finished real estate school first because it didn't take me as long as the other thing. But I didn't start it until I finished my construction course.
Okay.
And then signed on to Coldwell Banker. So.
Oh, so you've been with Coldwell Banker
the whole time.
Your whole career?
Yeah,
You've
my whole
never
career.
gone to another?
No. I've been Coldwell Banker the whole 23 years I've been there.
Dang.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, Coldwell
Very cool.
Banker's like the pioneers too. I feel like back, when I was in my uncle, it was like Coldwell Banker or Century 21. But Century 21 switched, I think, to Berkshire. And then there was Remax too.
Yeah.
There was Remax too. But
Yeah.
now, I mean, Coldwell Banker's like they're the OGs.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. What do you like about real estate? Like, what you've been doing this for 23 years? What continues to keep you going?
I love it. It's, you get to help people, get into a house or help with investments. You make your own schedule, pretty much, do what you want every day, I mean, you do have, a principal broker and, a boss to, but you actually work for yourself,
Yeah.
so, so pretty much however much business you want to do, that's on you.
Yeah.
And so, it just depends on how hard you want to work.
Yeah.
And how was it for you at first? So you started off super young, like, I don't know, what were
It
the
was tough.
difficulties, the issues?
It was tough. When I started, I was probably one of the youngest ones in the business. And then there was a group of maybe 8 other agents in their 20s, 20 to about 24. That was at Coldwell Banker as well. And so all of us became friends, obviously, because we're all the young ones. And then we ended up going to seminars together, going on trips together. And then so we kind of just bounced off, our business, ideas together and how to find business. And then it was tough though, because, I didn't even own my first house yet. And so, it's just hard to try and sell someone a house when you haven't owned a house yet. And so that kind of forced me into buying my first house.
Not only that, but there weren't a lot of folks who necessarily looked like you in the field, right? Like representation wasn't.
Yeah, it was hard. It was a lot harder. But after, it took a couple years to get your feet wet.
Yeah. How long did it take you to sell your first?
My first house, I think about maybe 7-8 months in the business and then I finally sold my first house, and that was off a phone call that came in.
Yeah.
So it's just and I thought it was so easy, but it's not,
Yeah.
It's like, and just sitting there on the floor, and then a call came in, wanted to look at a house in Turner, and I went out there and I showed it to them.
You still remember your first deal?
Yes.
Huh? Yeah.
Yes.
And everything was paper then, right? Like
Everything
you had to
was
take
paper.
Everything, you had to write the offer.
Everything was paper, carbon copies, faxing.
Yeah, faxing.
Things have changed a lot since then. And back then, there was no one was using. It wasn't online. Nothing was online.
Yeah.
So back then, Willamette Valley Multiple Listing Service, they would print out like phone books weekly.
Yeah.
Every week they'd print out a phone book really thick, and that's how you look up properties for MLS. It was in a phone book.
And
so
where would you pick it up? How would
they
you
would get
this?
delivered to the office every week.
So every
Kinda like
I think
the
it's about every
newspaper?
week. Yeah, I think about every week. And so everything would just, if someone calls in, you have to look in this phone book to look at the property information.
And then a whole map to kind of.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would have a map. We had these maps of Salem, and so what I would do is I'd, if I had to show like multiple properties, I'd go and I'd take a
Map it
highlighter
out.
and map it out, put a star to this one, number 1, number
Yeah.
2, number 3.
Make it easier.
Yeah.
Did you used to do a lot more than just Salem when you first started, or did you focus like
I
mainly
just
in Salem and then?
Focus on whatever. Whatever I can get my hands on.
Yeah, whatever.
You know, but yeah, mainly Salem.
I
Yeah.
think, like you were saying, it's difficult when you're starting because one, you still have that baby face too.
Yep.
You know, so when people would look at you, they're like, "How am I gonna trust this 20-year-old to sell me a house?" So you had also these thoughts in your mind, and you were probably your worst enemy. You were like, were maybe shy to talk to these people, or
Did you ever feel like you had some insecurities?
because it can be
as,
intimidating.
I did
you know?
have one that stands out. Like I keep on thinking about it because I was pretty young and I was helping this guy look for a house for like 3 days, and he's an older gentleman. And so I found him the house that he wanted. And then he's like, "Is it okay if you show my girlfriend the next day?" Sure, yeah, I'll show you. And so I went and showed them, and I met her. And then, "Oh yeah, we'll get a hold of you later on today to write an offer." Never heard from them. The next day I called them and I asked him, I was like, "Hey, I thought you wanted to write an offer on that house I showed you guys yesterday." And he's like, "Well, Chun, my girlfriend said that you're too young and she wanted to use an agent with at least 10 years of experience."
Oh.
And then so we wrote the offer with somebody else.
Oh, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what did you learn from there, or did you do anything differently, or
No.
didn't know?
No.
It was just like whatever.
It's
huh?
like whatever.
Yeah.
Just move on to the next.
Yeah. No,
You
because
know,
when
I
I
mean-
was doing loans too, you know, I was at 19, I was doing loans, and I felt like people, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't think these people are going to want to do business with me because they're like, how am I going to trust this guy that's 19 to do my loan, which is a big transaction?
Yeah.
But even though you know what you're talking about, but that was just my mindset back then, you know?
Yeah.
Did you ever get that you spoke to somebody on the phone and it was perfect and smooth, and then you met them in person? They're like, "Oh, you look a lot younger than
No.
what you sound." No,
No,
never.
I haven't ran into
That
that.
happened to me so many times. I'm like, well, what exactly am I supposed to look like? Is it not matching what the phone call? So
Yeah, no. It's just I mean, a lot of this business is like, you know, communication. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it. Communication and knowing what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, those 200 and something 5-star reviews help now, huh?
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
When did you really begin to pick up momentum?
Maybe about maybe my second or third year in the business. The first year, I think actually my first full year was pretty good because I got one of the top sales associates for 2001 at Coldwell Banker out of all the new agents, and then it started picking up, but it wasn't like overnight, So I mean, things take time, and then after a couple of years, I mean, it just like kept on going. Things just kept on. The next year it double, and then next year it'll double up from that, and then it just keep on going. And so now it just comes naturally. Everything that
Organic.
that I do, it just I mean, a lot of repeat business and investors and client, friends and family that just send me business now. So.
And it's so easy because you don't have to fax documents or nothing. It's all DocuSign. It's all like you don't even have to meet with them. It's easier. Huh?
It's a lot easier, way
Yeah.
easier than back then. Because back then, you'd have to fax and then have to make sure they have a fax machine.
And more efficient too, because now you
Yeah.
can help more families versus you're only working with like whatever you can do at that time because you can have to fax it.
Yeah.
You have to map out, like you said, your where you're gonna show the houses and
Yeah.
things like that.
And everything's more clear because everything through emails way clearer than faxing. Because
Yeah.
after you fax it 2-3 times, it just kind of
Yeah, I
fades
forgot.
away.
can't even
And-
read. Yeah,
Yeah.
can't even
And then
read
if they have thick handwriting, like those letters, or you can't really
Yeah.
understand it.
Yeah.
So were you working your first year another job or full
No,
time?
just full
full
time.
on.
Full on.
Did you
real
have some
estate.
savings or you just said, hey, because to go 7 months without selling the house?
Oh, I had money saved up, and then plus I was helping my mom at her cafe.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
You were technically still working a little bit.
a
little
little
bit.
bit.
And then how old were you when you bought your first house?
23.
23. Okay,
Yeah.
so just you're solid two full time.
The 2 year,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then I bought my first house. And so I bought new construction back then, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. And then I lived there for like a year and a half, and then I upgraded and bought another house.
Did you sell or keep
No, I
as a
kept
How
it
do
as a
you
rental.
upgrade from a new construction?
Yeah, within
I
a
bought
Like
year.
a bigger-
another bigger
A bigger
another
new
bigger new
construction?
construction.
Is that
Yeah.
where like you going into investment started and you getting just
My-
like different rentals and
my
such? Or
my father my dad has always had investment properties, duplexes and single family homes for rent, and then so it just kind of, that's pretty much what I was thinking, is like maybe just whatever I buy, just keep it,
Yeah.
just because it's going to appreciate in
Yeah.
value. And then just doing real estate, you see the prices go up, and so it just kind of just made me think it's like it's better to hang on to this than to sell it.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, I was just trying to, what my mindset was to maybe buy a house every 2 years and just keep on moving. But, then the real estate market kind of,
That's where I was kind of headed. So you started your career early 2000s. You kept going. You were literally like on fire, right? Going, buying properties, and then 2008 happens. How did that impact your business, your personal life as well, because of your investments?
it went downhill pretty quick.
I
Yeah.
think for a lot of people,
Yeah.
we're hurting. It's like
Put up my big house for sale, evicted the tenants out of my first house, and then I ended up moving into my first house, and then just living off my savings and also what I made off of the bigger house for a while.
yeah.
But it was tough.
Where you said you had it rented, was your renter at least still paying on time, or were they also like lost their job
Struggling.
maybe? or
Oh no,
struggling?
they were still paying, but I evicted them to
Yeah,
move
because
in.
you
So
needed it.
I
Yeah,
needed
yeah,
a place to go.
yeah.
It's like I can't,
Yeah.
But I mean, it all worked out.
Yeah.
It all worked out.
So what? So you've seen the ups, you've seen the downs, you've seen the ups, you've seen the down. So there's a lot of people that I always get messages that say, "Hey, well, I'm waiting for the right time because the houses are gonna drop," or things like that. What would you tell them if someone's out there just waiting because they think, or they're in hopes that the houses are gonna drop?
It's even if it does, if you hang on to it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because the house is always going to appreciate in value. So I mean, I wouldn't think that it's right now is a good time to buy, even though the rates. But then you can always refinance later on when it's lower.
Yeah.
So I think right now is even good. I mean, it's getting busy.
Yeah.
Things have picked up a lot.
So what was your interest rate on your first house?
That one was 7.35%. I thought I had a deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
See then, and
You see,
people right now they see.
Seven.
What was it again? Say it louder.
7.35%.
Yeah, because I was in 04, no, yeah, 04 to like 08, I was doing the loan. So people were getting an 80-20,
Uh-huh.
back then. And they were getting like 6 to 8% on the first one, anywhere from 9 to like 14% on the second.
Yeah.
But that's that was normal.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So that's why,
Crazy.
like people asking me about it, I'm like, man, rates back then were a lot higher than what they are now. So I mean, this is pretty normal,
Folks don't
for,
realize
for me.
the average that
Yeah.
that is.
I mean, I think the thing is like everybody got spoiled,
Yeah.
Yeah. or just because
They have that mindset. They're still stuck at 2 or 3,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, should have done it.
Yeah.
Should've done it.
Yeah.
That's
You keep
true.
them waiting, it's gonna go to 15, and then you'll be like, oh, I should have done it at 5,
Yeah.
6.
But then the longer you wait, you lose equity in the property that you're planning on buying. So I mean,
You're just going to pay more for that. So
I mean,
no.
just maybe have them pick out a house right now and just save it and see how much it's worth in like 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you lose the equity in that just by sitting around waiting.
Yeah, like when I was doing the loans back then too, and I would see, because I would get the sales contract, and most of the houses were like 100,000, 120,000, things like that. And then every once in a while, I'd get someone that would bring me a contract 200, 220, and I was like, dang, they're gonna pay like $1,500, $1,700 for that. I'm like, that's a lot of money, And then I'm like, that's a lot for a house, 200,000. But then you'd see the pictures, and it was a nice house. But now 200 doesn't even get you anything.
What do you think,
Like it's interesting.
like a 200,000 back then would cost now?
Now?
Like, what are you seeing?
Those
Like,
are like probably like the $500,000
$500,000.
houses.
$500,000.
My first house, for example, I bought it brand new, 2003, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,260 square feet, brand new,
135.
140. You're
Yeah,
right
see,
there,
see?
140,000.
Yeah, so-
Literally
You know?
right on.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it'd be like almost 400.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, so it costs you money to wait.
Yeah.
So
Was it a bachelor pad? Your early 20s, nice house.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Makes
Yeah,
sense. Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. Very cool. Do you have any kids, Chun?
Yes.
Yeah.
3.
3? Are they older, younger?
11, 13, and 15.
And 15. Nice.
Yes.
Do any of them talk about like wanting to be in real estate when they grow
Oh, my
up?
daughter actually asked me last week, my oldest.
Yeah, the
Yes.
15-year-old?
Yes.
You're like almost there, huh?
Yeah. Right. No, they've always had an interest in it. You
Yeah.
know, my son's always had an interest in it, and he's like, oh, I want to get into it. But of course, being the dad I am, it's like, go to college first.
Yeah, that's what you want.
Go
You-
to college
Story
first and
repeats
figure it out.
itself.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say, because I feel like with real estate, you work from your phone often.
Yeah.
And so that's, I'm sure, in a way has impacted your home life, like with your kids or whatnot, right? And then maybe.
I mean, it's normal now because, I mean, I've been doing it for so long. It's just a normal, just pick up the phone and text people back. I think a lot of things is like, I think a lot of my clients is like, I'm available,
Yeah.
Mhm.
They text me, I'll try to get them back to them as soon as possible or just right away. Or if they call me, I always text back, hey, I'm like in a meeting, let me call you right
Mhm.
back and stuff like that. And that's the thing is communication.
Yeah.
A lot of agents, I don't want to say anything, but yeah, some of them have a call listing agent for an appointment to view a house, and then you call, text them, and they don't respond for hours or maybe even
Exactly.
days,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
you can't even show the house,
Or-
they're trying to sell.
Yeah.
It's like they can just a simple text,
Yeah.
or I'm not available right now. I worked with this one agent one time where he said, I'm not available on the weekends, and I'm not available after like 6 or
5.
7 or something like that. And I'm like, well, I guess that's fine. I gotta respect that's what he wants to do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm trying to help you sell that house,
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just being available,
Yeah.
being there for your clients. Cause it is a big purchase,
Yeah.
probably one of the largest purchases they've ever made. And, you're there to help them and guide them through the process of buying the house. So, I mean, you're probably their counselor.
yeah.
You're there
I
to-
feel like a
You
counselor.
are.
You
sometimes.
guide them through,
Therapist.
you guide them through the home buying process or selling. And it's like, you're just there to help them, and that's what they lean against you for is to help, and that's why you're there.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you have learned from your investors that you've worked with?
Oh, invest in multifamily, apartments, more doors that you can get, the better.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, you don't have to, get into it and just go all on. I mean, just start off slow, get a duplex, fourplex, and just move up from there.
Yeah.
So
Have you met Don, or do you know Don, the owner of these building? this
no,
building? No, he's
Hold, go. He's trying to get, Sorry,
Wait,
guys.
honey.
Bye, honey niece.
hello.
Juan. You know our guest, right?
Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
he's like,
He's gonna get a printer and then he has to come back here. And then
Yeah.
yeah, because someone's here.
Oh.
He has to print it.
Yeah,
He can use our printer. It's connected to
know.
the Wi-Fi.
that's exactly what it said.
Okay.
It's fine.
oh, there's people coming through.
Nope.
Just
Really?
him.
No,
I know
there's
it's,
his clients or something.
Andres's.
Oh, never mind.
Oh, I thought I saw Andres get here though.
Yeah, he's parked over there, bro.
Oh, you know what you guys can do? Use the back door.
The side door.
The side door. ahí
Yeah.
atrás. So there's 2 doors, huh?
Alright.
The window even.
As you can see, you know who comes up with the bright ideas.
It's usually me.
But yeah,
Anyways, you were
So where were we
asking
at?
him.
Yeah, where we're at.
yeah, just about real estate. What advice then can you give like the new guys? There's a lot of new people, guys, girls that are getting into the business. Are always sending messages. They do want to get in because I think let's just say they see you always on vacation, or they always see you having a good time, or they see Diana traveling, or Violeta, or driving the nice cars and things. What would you recommend to all those people that want to
Wait.
get in?
Sorry, can I add to that? And when
Yeah.
you're done with your thought,
Yeah.
before you answer,
Go for it.
I don't know. Like adding to that, not only that, but what advice would you also give your younger self when you started? People who are reaching out to Edel.
Oh man, tough one. Well, to the newer agents that get in the business, I've actually gotten like 5 agents into the business. Well, 5 people into the business after because they see how I live.
Yeah.
And then so
tempting, huh?
so anyways, pretty much, I mean, just stick with it. It's not, get rich quick. type
Yeah.
of deal. You know, this is something that you got to work on. It takes years and years, and there's a lot of learning. You're learning things every day. I mean, I'm still learning stuff, you know, in tough situations, stuff, you know, different scenarios that you've never come up with before. You know, you just, you know, learn as you go. You know, a lot of the stuff you learn in the real estate school, you know, it's just to pass the test. And then a lot of this, you know, stuff that you actually do in the field is pretty much just learn as you go and figure it out.
Yeah, and there's so many things to learn. So what is it that you do? Because there could be a lot of stress. There could be a lot of, you know, scenarios, things that you have to, disappointment, things that you have to solve. So how do you keep cool? Like, how do you stay normal?
How do you stay fresh every day,
because you seem
Chun?
relaxed.
Yeah.
Calm,
Well, things
you know,
happen, you know, and you have no control over it, you know, and so just brush it off. And, you know, if you make a mistake, you learn from it. It's a learning experience, you know?
Yeah.
So if you did something wrong, learn from it, you won't do it again, you know? And that's the thing is like, that's how you learn too, you know, by mistakes.
Yeah.
We're only humans,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
We're only
And so when you
humans.
get into real estate and you do something wrong, you know, you're not going to do it again,
Yeah.
you know? And so another thing is like, pretty much be yourself. You know, a lot of people, you know, they act differently, you know, and me, I just go out and I tell all my clients, I go, we're just friends. We're just out looking at properties. I'm just here opening the door for you and we just hang out.
Yeah.
Pretty much you're just out there opening doors and having fun, you know, that's how it is, and meeting people.
Yeah.
And so they just pretty much, you know, if they walk into the house, they know it's a house. You don't really have to say much, you know.
Yeah.
You walk in and they already know. You don't have to. Well, I don't try and upsell the house, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'll make a comment here and there, but it's like, you know, just take a look around. Let me know if you have any questions.
Yeah, like for myself, sometimes I'm like, I should know what kind of roof that is. I should know what kind of flooring that is. That's just myself thinking that, but they don't even ask those questions sometimes.
Yeah,
you
they
know,
know.
It's like
They know.
just overthinking a lot of things
We
yourself.
gotta remind ourselves that we're realtors, not
Yeah.
contractors.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we're human beings. Like sometimes we try and, or at least for me, I try and think that I have to be this professional that knows it all, that thing. But you don't need it. I don't think
Yeah.
you need to know it all. You know.
No, if you don't know, I'll find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll get back to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, you've done many. How many transactions do you think you've done?
I don't know. I
Like,
never
throw a
counted.
number out there.
I don't know. I really don't
100
know.
and
I don't know.
500, 1,000.
You know what? Maybe we'll check later.
Yeah.
I'll get
So
back
let
to
me
you.
get
Huh?
back to you.
Let me get back to you.
But then I don't
That's
think.
it.
But then see, MLS doesn't go all the way back to
When you started,
yeah, because
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
on
wasn't
a
there.
phone
Yeah.
book.
It was in the phone book.
Yeah. And
you have it in your diary.
and it was on paper, so if they lost the paper, there's no
Well,
paper
he should
trail.
have
There's
kept
no
it at
nothing.
least for
Like,
6
Yeah,
years.
it's
is
kind
what
of
I
weird
heard.
how it went online because it was from that book, and then they created a program, and then so every morning you'd have to click to sync it every morning to upload the new listings every day, you know. So and then that was like that for a while.
When did the shift happen?
I
No?
don't remember. I
She's
don't
like,
know.
I just go and sell. Leave me
Yeah.
alone.
So it's interesting. So you would get a listing, and when would it go live? Like how long would it take to go live?
You would have to go get the photo taken. You know, you take the photo because one photo
Yeah.
because that's what they put in the phone book.
Yeah.
And then
That's true.
and then you just well, we give it to the front desk, and then I think they fax it to MLS or something like that. I don't remember how they did it because it's been so long ago.
Yeah.
But pretty much you just send it in, and then you have to wait for the next book to publish.
Wow.
So once a week,
I
No.
think I believe it's once a week, but I don't know. I might be wrong.
once a month. Imagine.
No, that would- yeah, that would-
Like
yeah.
bi-weekly,
Or so
maybe.
so what was common then you think was just people driving around and it was faster to see a sign on a house and kind of know that it's for sale versus hey, let's wait
Oh,
for the
waiting
book.
for the book.
Yeah, that or newspaper. Back then, newspaper
Oh,
was a
true.
big thing.
Yeah.
You know, so we did a lot of newspaper advertising.
Like nowadays I also get calls or texts from my clients and they're like, hey, I wanna see this house, and so I'm like, what's the address? And they just send me a picture of the sign. Like with just the sign I'm gonna figure out what house it is, you know?
That's
Like
happened
it
to
says
me.
Coa
Well, they just-
Banker.
They
But
say,
I'm like,
well,
if-
exactly. They send a picture of the sign, or they'll say, well, it's over here by Portland Road. Okay, well, like Portland Road and what's around there, you know,
Yeah.
like it's kind of
Yeah.
hard to find it like that, people.
Yeah,
It's
so
kinda
it's interesting the way
Yeah.
some people, they expect you to know every single house. Like, I don't know what houses are for sale unless I look for it online, you know.
Yeah.
So it's yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you look at the MLS every day in the mornings? Check. it in?
I'll check and see what's new.
Okay. Do you believe like you've seen a lot of houses here in Salem?
I've seen a lot.
Yeah, huh? It's
Yeah.
like, and then you've seen them come back on the market. and
Yes,
things
I've
like
seen. Yeah, and I think there's this one that I've sold maybe like 3 times.
The same house.
Yeah.
You've helped the
Yeah,
same.
not the same house, but
Not
like
the
you
same
know,
seller, not the
same
same.
seller, same buyer, or whatever,
Mhm.
you know. But it's gone 3 times. I forgot which one it is, but I know I've done it before.
You're like, I know this house.
Yeah, I've already been in this house. I already sold it. You know, my client called me. I already sold that one twice already. But yeah,
Oh, damn.
That's cool.
So
Yeah,
like
that's cool.
Diana was saying earlier, what would you tell your younger self? Like, what would be one of the things that you would tell your younger self? Like, you just starting getting into the business, what do you think you would tell yourself?
oh man, probably work harder. I did work. Okay. When you first start out, I was 20. When I was 20 when I first started. So it's like it's hard, you know.
Yeah.
Prospecting is hard, and then just, you know, they tell you cold call, you know, call expires, but it's like you don't have a clue what you're doing, you know. And
I was
so
gonna say, did you have like a mentor or
I
someone?
did. See, that's
Okay.
another thing. I had a mentor. Probably into my second year, maybe in real estate, I had a mentor, and she's doing really good right now in San Diego.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
San
yeah.
Diego's where it's at too, huh?
Yeah. So she's doing really good, and so she kind of took me on, and just like, hey, Chun, you know, I'm gonna need some help with open houses, and you know, if you want, you know, you can come with me to my appointments, and we can start, you know, I'll introduce you as my brother, you know. Cool, you know. And so I started hanging out with her, then we ended up sharing an office together, and then she just kind of just helped me along, and we just became really good friends.
Have you
That's
ever
cool.
thought about like doing real estate outside of Salem, like anywhere else? Sometimes I've thought about San Diego. I just like it though.
like a different state?
Yeah, like a
Oh,
different state or anything.
Yeah, I've thought about going to San Diego because well, I haven't. Well, I'd be sat down there because she's told me that I can come work with her.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
nice.
Wow. Yeah.
Nice.
What do you mean by work harder? Like, you would have door knocked more. You
Probably-
more. You would have.
Probably maybe did more of that, like, you know, cold calling, which, you know, because I, you know, tell you the truth, I suck. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, cold calling, you know, I mean, people are going to hang up on you. And so, I mean, that type of stuff, like actually going out and trying to find business. Me, you know, when I started, I was like, you know, taking floor time, you know, going out and trying to mingle and meet
Sorry,
people.
for folks who don't know, can you explain floor time?
Floor time's like when there's a designated time for you to be at the office, and when any, you know, potential client would call into the office, they would direct it over to you. And so, so what you do is you just sign up, you know, every month, and then just, you know, they have shifts for agents to show up, and then anytime those calls come in, they get directed those calls for potential clients.
So you said mingle. So now, you know, as you start getting busier, you know, your time is limited because sometimes you're on appointment, you're listing appointment, showing houses. Do you think the mingling works, or do you think it's just a way to just get out there? Or
It did work back then. I don't go and mingle that much anymore, you know,
Yeah.
but back then in my 20s, you know, everybody was going out, and, you know, 21, 22, 23,
Yeah.
you know, and you're out there passing out your business cards to people that you went to college with, high school with,
Yeah.
you know. And but then, see, they don't take you seriously because
Yeah.
they're like, what, you're selling real estate? And it's like, yeah, you know, because you're still young, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Unless you pull up in the BMW, huh?
and
then they're like,
take you
hey, this guy,
serious.
yeah.
yeah, but, you know, I mean, it took a couple years for them to like have confidence in you, you
Mhm.
know, because, you know, and then now a lot of my friends, they all do business with me, you know, after all these years, you know. But,
Yeah.
you know, I've, you know, sold a lot of them their first homes, and I've helped them upgrade.
You
And
build your reputation.
yeah.
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 Exactly.
So, but that's the thing, is building your reputation, and just, you know, knowing a lot of people. I mean, even though, you know, like, we're at different real estate companies, right?
Yeah.
But we're all friends.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
it doesn't matter what company you're at. You know, that's
Yeah.
the thing. That's the mentality I've always had, is like, it doesn't matter what company you're at.
Yeah.
I'm friends with everybody, you
Yeah,
know, and
yeah.
that's the way. It's like, you just relationships, you know,
Yeah.
just like, you know, we do business with each other, even though we're at different companies, we're still going to have to get along.
Yeah.
You know,
It's not the company, it's the person.
It's
you
the
know?
person that
Yeah.
you're dealing with.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're all independent. And so, you know, I would just probably just let those other agents, newer agents know, it's like, just because they're another company doesn't give you permission to be mean to them, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because I mean,
Maybe say that to the older agents.
Yeah.
but it's just relationships. That's all it is. Building relationships.
So to the younger or the people that are starting in the business, go mingle more and get your name out there, or just work harder.
Don't burn bridges.
That's a great way to
Yeah,
put it.
yeah,
Go
yeah.
mingle if you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, probably have do everything that you can to get business. Because I mean, right now there's so many agents. I mean, you just gotta hustle and probably just put in a lot of work to try and get started.
I think it's you have to earn your stripes, because a lot of new agents, they come in and they think they want to be, let's just say, like at your level, but it took you 23 years to build that name and do things, and they still have to put in the work. And some people, I think, come in here and expect to just all of a sudden, start selling 10, 20 houses a year, and it sometimes it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, just don't get discouraged. That's another thing.
Yeah.
Don't get discouraged, because at some points I thought to myself, it's like, I'm not sure if I can do this,
Mm-hmm.
and here I am now, 23 years later.
Yeah, just keep working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a business. I think I've said it before, but it's definitely a business that you get what you put in it.
Yeah.
So if you don't put in the work,
You're not gonna get paid.
exactly.
Yeah.
But that's not the only thing. I mean, you're helping people, so
Exactly.
But getting paid is just a bonus, I
It's
guess.
the reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a reward.
And doing it, I think, genuinely, because a lot of people that want to get in they do it for the money, know.
Mhm.
But when you actually help people, they just refer you grow. It and then the rewards are there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's just something different every day. You don't know.
It's
what
not
you're
the
gonna-
same. Yeah.
It's not the same.
Every transaction's different.
Every
for
transaction's
sure.
different.
Yeah, exactly.
And pretty much you meet a lot of people,
Mhm.
and it's fun.
So speaking about transaction, tell us a little bit of some of your transactions. What has been like a horror story with one of the transaction, or what has been
I don't
the
want
funnest
to talk
one?
about it. Actually, I don't wanna talk about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
what was
Any
the
fun,
funnest? The funnest
fun
transaction.
and exciting one.
They're all fun. I mean, it's fun to get people into their homes. I mean, they get so excited, and you're there, helping them.
Is there one client that you remember the most? Like for me, I always remember the little kids when you're showing the families the houses.
Uh-huh.
They're already picking which one's gonna be their room and stuff like that.
No. I mean, I've done so many, so it's like I just, they all just come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about houses? Do you remember like the creepiest house that you've shown or something? What can you tell us about any home?
Creepiest. I don't think. Oh yeah, okay. There is one. There was.
Because
one.
you see all kinds
there
of
you
houses.
go.
Okay.
He's remembering.
Oh,
It's coming back to
man,
him.
there might be a real estate violation in this one. Maybe, I don't know. but anyways, I was showing a client a house, and this was like in the fall, winter, and it was 8:00 at night, and he gets off work at 5 or 6, and we're out showing properties at night at pitch dark black. And so I'm out in Silverton. We pull up to this house, and it looks like one of those 2-story homes in a horror movie. Okay, bank owned property, no electricity, no water, nothing.
Oh,
my
wow.
gosh.
Had
At
to-
8:00 at night in the fall,
Yeah, and it's dark,
and it has a basement,
Of
of course.
Okay. And so I pull up, I look at him, I look at the house, hand him a flashlight. It's like, you're on your own on this one. And I let him in there. And just, I didn't even walk into the house. I was like, you're going to have to go in there yourself.
I take it he didn't buy that one.
No, he didn't buy that one. No.
There's some creepy houses in Silverton though, because I've seen
It was an
some.
old farmhouse. And I'm like, there's no way I'm walking into this one. This one, it's one of
You
those.
just felt the bad juju.
Yeah,
right?
it's one of those.
Since you
If you
walked
look up
over.
at the 2-story window, you probably see like a figure up there.
Stop.
It's like one of those. It's like, I'm not going in there. I go,
Yeah.
here's a flashlight. You go in there yourself.
It probably had one of those smells too when you walk in there.
I didn't go in there,
No.
so I don't know.
Wow.
Just like through his car window like this with the flashlight and the key. Like, go have
Yeah.
fun.
But sometimes I've shown some houses where I feel like I got to shower as soon as I get home because, that's the smell, man. It's
Yeah.
like, and then, those are, my uncle, he says that he takes his shoes off and his clothes before he goes into his house, showers.
He's been doing
and
the
then,
COVID restrictions before
and
COVID,
then he
huh?
gets ready to be in his house because he's like, I don't want to bring different things from different
makes
houses
sense.
because you do show some houses that
Yeah.
they smell or you don't know what's been going on in there and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so
You're gonna be
true.
Michael, our inspector. If you have extra white suits that you want to share,
yeah.
we're gonna need those to go to the next houses.
What I don't know. Tell us another story. What anything about real estate?
I
Anything
don't
that
know.
you would?
There's really, I don't.
Have you ever? Okay, something funny. Like, have you ever fallen in front of a client at a showing? Have you ever locked your keys in the car or anything, or your phone didn't work and you couldn't open? Like, I don't know.
No.
Just
You've been doing this for too long. I'm sure you have exciting stories to share.
Okay, this is
There
an
you go.
embarrassing one. Okay.
I know you had one.
Okay,
Okay, no.
This is what we want.
Okay, so growing up, I broke my front two teeth, right? Riding a bike, and then I hit a curb, flew over the handlebars, broke my front two teeth. So I broke them multiple times, right?
Oh.
So this one day, I was gonna go show a property, and I'm sitting at the office eating a protein bar, right? So I'm sitting there eating, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I feel something. My tooth,
Gone.
it was right there. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I gotta go show a house with one missing tooth. And so I ended up canceling that appointment. I didn't go.
What was your reason to your client? Of why
I
you
told
had to
them.
cancel?
I told them I was like eating a protein bar, and I have their implants now, but yeah, it's like I ate a protein bar and my tooth fell out. I'm not gonna show you with
Oh,
looking
that's
like
cool.
this.
You were transparent.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
because I feel like some
Yeah.
people would be like, "Oh, another meeting came up." or
No,
I double
well,
booked myself,"
it was
or-
the day before Thanksgiving, okay, and so I hurried up and called the dentist, and she ended up going back to the office. To
Oh,
her dental
nice.
office and then she put on some glue and stuck it back in because my root canal, I guess it went bad or something like that.
Yeah.
And then so she put it back in. She said, okay, no eating bread or any solid food or whatever over
No.
Thanksgiving. I'm like,
Oh,
seriously?
There you go.
And then
I would have
yeah.
just been toothless. I'm gonna eat.
Oh no.
Just
No.
let my teeth just.
You talk differently. You have a lisp
A
or
lisp.
something. Yeah.
You're whistling through your whole
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah. And it's just like, yeah. And so yeah, that was embarrassing. I was like, oh
I
man.
hate it. Yeah.
But that's real
Aw.
estate. Things
Yeah.
happen, unexpected things happen.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
but that's cool.
How many
Thank
times
you.
have you fallen, Adele? In
I
front of
fall-
your clients?
I don't know. I've never fallen in front of my clients, but
Oh, but
I
he
always
sure
seem
has
to get
fallen
hurt. Like
away from his
because
clients.
I like to play soccer, so I'll get hurt playing soccer, or I don't know, just life randomly I'll fall or something. Things happen, so
Yeah.
I'm always getting hurt though.
I don't think I've ever fallen.
I have.
Well, you guys probably wear heels and stuff, so
You fallen in front of a client?
Not in front of a client,
like,
but
yeah.
they had
Knock on wood.
they had the Ring camera, so I'm sure they were replaying that over and over again. It was like 2 steps. Like it wasn't even like I fell off like a big stair, like it was 2 little steps and I was just gonna go and it like something just came and swooped my feet off the ground. Now boom, boom, boom. And that was the first time I fell again. I think I fell like twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you ask for the Ring camera?
No, the
I would've.
recording?
I would have.
Yeah, that would be
Huh.
funny.
Post
Yeah.
on your TikTok.
Oh,
or
and I remember I was trying to hurry because they had a big, huge dog
Oh,
that kept on barking off the fence. I was like, this dog's going to jump and just eat me alive here. So it was either a little fall or my whole life. So
Yeah,
I took
yeah.
the little fall.
You've never been like bitten or chased out by a dog?
I mean,
You
I
got good luck.
well, if there's a big dog, like I'll open it and that's like because you can hear them through the
Yeah,
door,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like no, and then just leave.
You're like, not
Just
happening.
You know. Yeah.
He's experienced.
Yeah.
He's experienced
I'm not
agent
gonna
now.
go in
He's
there.
like.
It's like
Sorry.
any dogs in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because side note, with the dog thing, I showed a house last week, and you can hear them, right? And I opened the door like slightly bit in the garage because they were put in the garage, and I'm like, okay, they're getting aggressive, but they weren't coming, and I couldn't find the light. Dude, I turn on the light, and they're in their little crate, but the crate is moving like it's.
Oh,
I'm like, yeah, I
no.
don't think it's safe. I think they cut after them. It was like a pit bull. And
Yeah.
very aggressive. Like, yeah, you all can't go in the garage, or you all can, but I'm not going in there because it's moving, like shaking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I think I tried to show a house once too, and the dogs came to the door, and it was a husky. I have a Siberian husky, so I know how hyped they are. So I was like, I'm not opening this door. So I called the agent. I was like, they didn't put the dogs away. We're not going in there because I mean I don't know that they're gonna bite us, but I know that they're gonna jump on us, and I'm not down for that today. So we ended up canceling the showing too.
Yeah.
What do you do to like re-energize yourself? Do you ever feel like you get burnt out? Like
No, not really. I like to like just now whenever I get stressed, I'll just go to the work out.
okay.
Just
Really?
try to.
You live a
Leave
very
it all at
sinful
the
life.
gym, huh?
Yeah, all the games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take notes. This is how chill I'm trying to be.
Yeah.
Well, I
Do you-
mean, you can't. I mean, you can't stress out over stuff that you can't control.
How do you get to that mindset though? How do you get to
Yeah.
that
How long did
point?
it take you to learn that?
I don't know. It
Or you
just.
just started?
Is that just naturally how you've
I
always
guess.
been? That's
Yeah.
just you.
It's just just roll with it.
Yeah.
'Cause I hear
Do you
that
travel
often.
a lot?
Yeah. California, Vegas.
Yeah.
Vegas.
Like short Vegas again. I know a few people that go to Vegas pretty
No.
often.
Yeah. I think a lot of realtors like to go to Vegas,
Yeah.
huh?
So
Yeah.
just like
There's
would
always
you say like
conventions or
little
something.
weekend trips or something?
No, we get for Vegas, just like two nights or 3 nights. That's fine. Go to California. My brother lives down there in San
Oh, okay.
Diego.
You have family.
So we'll go down for a week.
Nice.
We try to go once a year, but COVID kind of stopped that, and then now I think we did go to Disneyland last year. So yeah, I mean starting that back up again.
Nice.
Cool.
Nice.
The lake, we go to the lake down at Detroit.
Do you like to camp?
No.
No?
But I do though. I just started for the kids.
Oh, but you do
You don't-
camp. Okay,
Yeah.
You don't like to?
No, I don't want to.
That speaks very
It's
highly of you. I
fun.
don't like to, so I don't. I
Yeah.
don't hike. Well,
I'm
I've
like,
done
if it's
hike.
all set up or things, I'll show up. But
It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I'm not.
It is.
It's a lot of
And
work.
then they leave it on the men to be the ones to want to do everything. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Okay.
It's a lot of work, and you're dirty. I don't
Yeah,
like to
yeah.
be dirty.
You don't like
Yeah,
to
me
either,
either.
yeah.
So do you
I like
do you
showers.
camp in, like in a camper or
No.
like tents? and all?
Tents.
yeah.
Oh no, thank
It's
you.
cool. You just have to bring out
I'm not down.
your saw, because I've gone camping and I have friends in Oak Ridge, and so they grew up like this is their backyard, and we'll pull up, and my friend, she's a girl, and she'll be like, "Oh, this tree's good," brings out the chainsaw, and then there we are, because she's done fires for years, and I've done fires, and we're like, "Okay, let's load these up, let's get it going," and it's fun.
Like-
I'm
a
like,
true camper.
someone should sell a service. Hey, we'll set it up for you. We'll bring you the wood.
That is
All
not
you do is show
camping.
up. Hey, we're going
That is-
camping. Like
That is not
don't
why
do
people
anything.
go camping. No.
Yeah, no, I don't like the full experience. I'm fine with just
Yeah. Do you like to hike?
No,
No.
Yeah, no.
just I mean, boating.
Mhm.
The kids like to go swimming.
Oh yeah.
Do you like to
That's
go
fun.
swimming too?
No,
No.
I mean I'll
Oh,
float in
that's
the water, but I'm not gonna swim.
Doing a marathon?
Yeah,
A swimming marathon?
That's cool though. You do a lot because of your kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
That's cool experiences.
I want them to experience, because my parents worked all the time, and so I didn't get to experience that. So,
Mhm.
so for my kids, I like to, take them places and.
You'll take one for the team, huh?
Do you like to watch any sports?
Oh, we watch basketball. All
Basketball.
my kids are in basketball.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay,
Do you have a
nice.
team, or do you just like to watch your kids?
just watch my kids.
Yeah,
Whoever
that's
wins.
Yeah, whoever wins.
Yeah.
Do you
Cool.
have
Cool.
sorry, I said another morning routine, or how do you prep to be the zen?
I wake up.
I wake up, I just hope I wake up every morning. As I wake up, I'm good.
Yeah.
That's my routine to wake up. Very cool.
I mean, wake up and I probably haven't worked out for a couple. Well, I did work out yesterday afternoon, but I try to work out in the mornings and then go in the office and then just go out my day.
Yeah. Are you an
Yeah.
early bird?
Yes. Not as early as how I was before, but I do get up a little early.
What's early?
Well, 6:37. But back a long time ago, I used to go to the gym like at 5. Trying to get rid of this right here.
You're in the 5 a.m. club, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that helps? Like if you want to get to your production, because when do you think was your peak? Like because there's times when I think, like at least for me, there was years when I just worked, no vacations, no nothing, and then I was like, it ain't even always about work. You can always go enjoy things, and you don't need to make for me to make as much money or do this. it's just about enjoying it too. Because like my parents passed away last year, both of them, and I'm like they didn't get to enjoy a lot of things. And like you said, they were always working and things like that. And well, for me, I learned I'm like I don't want to be that age, and then didn't get to experience life, didn't get to do anything.
I don't know. I mean, I just do. I mean, even if you're on, even when you're on vacation, you're working. So it's not like there's not really
a time that you don't actually work.
Yeah, there's not really a time when you don't actually work. But I mean, I just take it as it comes. I'm not gonna just block it off just because because I mean, a lot of people rely on you. You know, and so you can't just disappear and be gone. And I always let my clients know that I'm just a text or a phone call away if you ever need me. Otherwise, I'll make sure that someone's here to take care of them when I'm gone.
Yeah. So who do you leave in charge when you're gone? Do you have
Yeah, there's a couple agents in my office.
okay,
and
that they help you out and stuff like that. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So it's all taken care of.
Yeah.
So no one's ever just left.
Like autopilot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
So I feel like the secret to Chun is just let it go on its own, huh?
I mean, you
You
just
just kind of relax and
Take
let
it
it
right
roll
back.
on its own.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
whatever, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
just
Let it play out, huh?
just let it play out. I mean, there's no reason to stress over, I mean, yeah, there is some, depending on your situation, but I don't know. I'm at that point. It's like,
We'll
whatever.
figure it out.
I
We'll
got
figure it out.
multiple investments. I'm solid. I'm set. I'm fine.
Yeah,
Chilling.
No, but I think that's what a lot of things is. We want to control everything, or we want to make sure everything's right, but a lot of it we don't have control over. So
Yeah.
that, at least for me, that's what kind of works
well, that's
too.
another thing. I don't know. I mean, I think I do have a little control issue on my transactions just because I just like things to be
A certain way.
a certain way. And I think that's why, I think, if you go through my Zillow reviews, everybody's like, oh, he's on top of it because I like to make sure things are right, if things aren't right, yeah, it does kind of bug me and I try to fix it as soon as possible. But other than that, it's like,
But you already have a system, so it's like
yeah, I
how
mean,
things are
I
gonna.
mean, because there's a lot of scenarios that happen sometimes, like all the time. And so,
It's all the time.
yeah, and so, I mean, you kind of have an idea of how to fix it, and
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you see that? Like, I mean, that you've been doing this for so long, and you've done so many transactions that you see kind of like similar scenarios kind of repeat itself, and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, that happened, with this transaction, so you kind of already had, in a sense, have like an answer or a solution for it.
Yeah,
Okay.
just that's why I said, like, in this business, it's like you just learn as you go, and it's just real life experiences how you learn, not from a book or watching Selling Sunset, I mean, that's not real.
You have to have a deal actually to put all that into practice.
Yeah. So I mean, pretty much, like with the new agents, get a deal going and then learn from that. I mean, it's not. I mean, I know that they, a lot of agents or trainers, they teach you how to fill out the contract, but it doesn't really teach you like the whole process all the way through.
How to manage the whole transaction.
Like when I was at Keller Williams, they have a class for everything. And I was like, man, I got to go to every single class so I can learn and all this. Then after a while, I was like, you know what? I need to get deals. So then I started getting deals, started getting busy. And then I would tell the newer agents, I'm like, you're not going to even need half of what they're
Do you feel like you learned a lot more from your own transactions than the actual classes?
Yeah, well, for me, I'm more hands-on. So if I have it, I'm learning. But if I can learn how to write a contract, but until I have to write an offer, I'm still going to ask them questions. Now I know because I actually wrote the offer and things like that. So that's the way I learn.
I'm the same way. I'm very hands-on. I feel like unless I'm like putting it in practice at the time, I mean, I go to the trainings but I'm not a learner unless I'm putting it in practice. Like I'll go to a training and I'm like, that was nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what I just learned until I have to use it, It has to be something that you use often to really sits on you and really like drills in your head. Yeah. So
that's pretty much just learn by experience. That's how you do it in this business.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the most transactions you've had going on at once?
24, I think.
24, and you were managing all 24?
Yeah.
You didn't go to sleep, huh?
Huh?
You're your own TC.
So you were like
24 as your own
that's
TC.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
intense.
Lots of
Yeah,
stuff.
hey,
Hats
man.
off, hats
You're
off.
like this, huh? Like,
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah.
How many screens did you have up running at once?
No, but you gotta be kind of, I feel like, very organized because things can slip through the cracks. with
Calendar.
24.
The calendar on your phone. You just like deadlines, whatever. You just got to put in there.
As you get it, instead of saying I'm gonna do it later and put it on, right?
It just depends on what you're doing
Yeah,
at the time.
you know, because sometimes I'm like, okay, I'll write it later, and then I forget. So I gotta write it. For me, that's what works, writing it on the moment.
Yeah.
We always send each other calendar invites for everything because otherwise we forget.
Yeah.
It's important. It's
Dang,
important.
24 all by yourself. I'm shook.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
crazy.
No
I think
teeth.
that's gonna
That was
that's,
years ago,
that's gonna
though.
be like the thing 24 how you manage, and then we're gonna get into the show.
Ah,
So
no
anything before we
TC.
let go?
Yeah. So the name of our podcast is From Suenos a Duenos, which is from like dreamers to owners. Doesn't translate exactly the same. And essentially we're encompassing, folks who might have started a business. It was a dream and now it's a business. They were dreaming of being homeowners and now they are part of the homeowners club. What is something that you would tell someone who's on the verge of buying? So they want to buy 2023, but they're still unsure. Like for them to go from dreaming to being now.
To be in a reality.
Yeah. What would be a piece of advice for anyone watching?
To get
anyone
started
tuning
and not sit around and wait. I
Yeah.
mean, that's the only way to get started is
in? To get started.
talk to somebody that, any one of us, about getting started and then get set up with a lender and, try and
Take that first step.
take that first step. Cause I mean, their credit might need to be improved. They might need to do something, might have to get funds. I mean, just start the process and learn some steps first and then dive into it,
So y'all heard it. Get started. Ask questions. Reach out.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Chun.
All right. Well,
No.
thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Do you
Yeah.
want to say anything, some last comment, anything to the people that are watching us?
I just want to say thanks, Jose, for helping me get into real estate.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Hey,
Jose
thank you,
Gonzalez.
Jose.
How can people get
shout
in touch
out.
with you? What's your what's your handle? What's your phone number? What's the best
I'll
way
just
for
give my
anyone to
phone
follow
number. I
and
don't need
reach?
to say all that stuff, but my number is 503-851-3167.
Thank you.
Hey,
Got it.
thank you, Chun,
Thank
for
you, Chun.
being here with
Thank
us.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a wrap.